Hello students, welcome to E-Pathashala. Welcome you all to our new module titled Healthy Cooking. Are you all more curious to know about this area? Yes. As a human being, we all are nurtured by proper and balanced food. It's very essential to understand the facts and principles of not only the healthy eating but also the cooking too. Now, it's time for us to know the basics of cooking. What is cooking? Cooking is an art and science of making inedible food materials into an edible one. It includes the process of cooking food and presenting them in an attractive manner. As food is the reservoir of all vital elements that are required for the human health, cooking seeks special attention on conserving the basic principles without much damage during and after preparation. So, healthy cooking practices are the need of hour not only for the individual, also for the public food production industries, as it caters the need of diverse crowd more curious about eating for wellness along with global food exploration. Now, from this module, you could able to understand the importance of healthy cooking in food service industries, methods of making healthy foods, and contraindications of unhealthy cooking. Let's now move on to the cooking as such. Cooking is the process of subjecting food into an action of heat or mechanical blending by combining one food with a favorite elementary ingredients to make it more attractive, aromatic, tasty, and enjoyable to serve and eat. Those foods can easily get digested, need not require application of heat, but then they are modified into edible form. This is called fireless cooking, whereas foods of more complex blend need more processing to get them ready to eat. Here comes cooking, and that does adequate justice to food to get more organoleptic flavors and health constituents. Now let's see what are the methods of cooking. All the methods of cooking depends upon one or more or the three principles of heat transfer. The various methods of cooking are divided into three groups according to the cooking medium what we use. These groups are dry method, moist method, combination method. What is dry method? Dry method is a method by which the food gets cooked with the help of frying medium without moisture. Example of drying method is roasting, baking, grilling, and frying. Here, the high temperature is used. What is moist method of cooking? Stewing, boiling, steaming, and pressure cooking. Here, water or steam is used as a cooking medium. The wet atmosphere makes the food get cooked, so the texture of the food gets modified accordingly. Another method is called combination method. These are the combinations of dry and moist methods. The very commonly adopted combination method is braising. Most of the Indian recipes are prepared out of braising technique. Now let's see in detail the methods of cooking. Dry methods of cooking. Heat is transferred to the surface of food by convection or radiation. Here, in this method, the interior portion of the food is cooked by heat conducted through the food. There are several methods of cooking handled under dry cooking. They are baking, frying, grilling, roasting, and microwave cooking. All have got their own basic principles. Baking is actually done by convection hot air currents. Here, the food gets cooked by conduction of heat waves. And frying. Frying is also another method by which the heat is being convected by the conduction process into the core of food. Grilling and roasting. Here, the food is getting cooked by radiation and conduction. Again, microwave cooking is another novel technique by which the food is cooked by radiative conduction. And moist heat method. Heat is transferred by convection current in the cooking liquid. At low temperatures, liquid penetrates the structure of food and cooks by convection and conduction. What is called combination method of cooking? Heat is transferred to the food by convection, and simultaneously it goes into convection by adding some water. So this is a combination technique by which the food gets two distinguished methodology of cooking, and it exhibits different texture and taste. Now let's move on to the effect of cooking foods on fire. Cooking does lot of physicochemical changes on foods that causes both positive and negative effects. I'm going to tell you now some of the positive effects of cooking that has been undergone through the cooking technology. The food is made safe to eat by cooking. Cooking destroys all the harmful microorganisms such as bacteria, yeast, molds, and destroyed by cooking. Cooking improves the keeping quality of the food. As all the spoilage causing bacteria and enzymes got destructed, it gets the keeping quality improved. And the other function is digestion and absorption of food. Yes, the food gets converted to more digestible because of the structural changes that happens during cooking. For example, the fiber that present inside the food gets tenderized, the cellulose in fruits gets softened, and the starch which is present inside the cereals gets gelatinized. So cooking makes dramatic changes in starchy, cellulosey foods, and cooking makes foods become less bulky too. The volume of some foods reduced by cooking is, for example, cabbage and spinach. When we cook cabbage and spinach, it loses its volume and it can occupy less space. More of these foods which supply valuable nutrients also. Another important function of cooking, positive function of cooking, is the flavor is being enhanced. Yes, the cooking flavors enhanced by strengthening, blending, altering important ingredients. Strengthening. By adding young vegetables, fresh young vegetables, you will strengthen your flavor of the food items. By blending the food items along with some ingredients, you will enhance the nutritive value and taste of it. By altering the composition of the food products, food quality is improved. And the last and important benefit of cooking is cooking alters the texture of the food, which is very important for making variety in diet. Example, vegetables and fruits softens, and eggs and meat and fish becomes firmer when you cook, and the texture of the protein gets coagulated. Baking develops a characteristic texture because of cooking. For example, cake mixture, pastries, batters, breads, biscuits gets their own texture according to the nature of the ingredients what you use. And also cooking has got some more advantages, like it enhances the digestion of protein and starch by changing the physical structure. Cooking imparts good flavor and thus enhance appetite. It also increases the color of certain vegetables, especially green leafy vegetables. Sometimes it is important. In some other foods, color is improved by cooking. For example, meat changes from red to an attractive brown color. Baked products changed from insipid yellow to golden brown color. The method of cooking affects the color that takes place because of cooking and heat conduction. For example, boiling, steaming, microwave cooking do not produce such attractive colors. Yes, cooking may develop certain volatile substances also. That is the reason why when we cook food, we get a typical aromatic flavor that makes our appetite more improved, and it also increases the production of gastric juices. Yes, cooking foods greatly increases the variety in diet. The ways of eating particular foods are increased because of cooking. When we add, a tomato can be eaten raw, it can be eaten grilled or fried, baked, pastry, pureed, etc. Hot foods are more acceptable always, so cooking is very important for the hotness. And cooking reduces the microbial load and it makes the food gets purity. And cooking also adds nutrients intentionally. Yes, when we combine foods along with salt and sugar, we add more calories and we add more sodium, which is sometimes needed too. Cooking also inhibits the undesirable changes that happens in the absence of enzymes. Cooking also eliminates anti-nutritional factors that interferes the nutrition absorption in the body. For example, goitrogenic substances are being leached out when we cook cabbage. Substances in cauliflower is leached out by boiling, and the biotin vitamin in egg which is activated by cooking. Vitamin A is lost dry method, especially fat frying. So foods rich in vitamin A must be preferred to cook on steam. Now you will have to look into the negative aspects of cooking also. Why? Because the positives can also lead some kind of negative. So negative one, only when we understand the negative effects, we could able to conserve those areas by which you can improve the nutritional ability. Yes, what are the negative effects of cooking? Most of the water-soluble vitamins are lost in cooking, especially vitamin C, because it is very sensitive to heat. Good quality proteins are degraded. Sometimes they lose these vitamins. Most of the minerals get leached out, especially sodium and chloride. Scorching of food reduces the acceptability also. Sometimes food do generate bodily harmful molecules while cooking, like nitrosamines that are developed during cooking of meat. Yes, these are all the positive and negative factors of cooking. Now we shall move on to the healthy cooking practices. Why healthy cooking is important for quantity food production? Yes, healthy cooking food production industries are at spurt due to the following reasons. Reason number 1, increasing health awareness among people. As people today access health and hygiene information more through medias, everyone look forward for the concern of healthy practices everywhere. The customers who visit food service establishment expects healthy foods to be served at their table. Yes, double burden of diseases scenario. Growing population along with globalization induces much changes in the lifestyle of the public, resulted in life-threatening non-communicable diseases everywhere, both over and under nutrition issues. This induced health-seeking behavior is another reason for the consumers think about healthy cooking. Growing concerns about the public health industry is also well informed about the needs and wants of the consumers. That in turn developed interest among food service personnel to focus much on healthy cooking. Now we'll see how to incorporate healthy cooking practices in quantity food service. Healthy cooking practices at large scale can be attained only by adopting 2 basic principles of cooking. They are reducing or limiting the nutritional loss and enhancing the nutritional values of cooked foods. Both of these can be achieved only by getting proper education about healthy cooking. Now let's see the first point, how to control the nutritional loss during cooking. Moist heat methods always causes greater nutritional loss than dry heat method. So while choosing the method of cooking, it is important to know about what nutrients that contains, that is rich in water soluble nutrients, rather to go dry, less moisture food cooking. Similarly, foods rich in fat soluble nutrients better cooked in moist heat method. The other way is using minimum amount of water is always good for all food items that can conserve most of the nutrients and retains better flavor and texture. Food generally boiled in their skin do not leach out nutrients as they are cooked in their skin. So the best natural way of cooking vegetables with skin is the best option to retain minerals. Vegetables and fruits lose their nutrients during exertion and during chopping and by exposure by cutting them before cooking. Grating and fine chopping of food items sometimes enhances more vitamin loss, so always avoid chopping foods very finely. Cooking time is also another important factor that causes nutrient loss. Prolonged heating of foods make loss of nutrients, so repeated heating of food items has to be avoided. Steaming under mild pressure is always good for healthy cooking, as cooking is a factor there is a less degradation. Washing and cleaning of foods thoroughly before cooking is also another way of healthy cooking. Same time, exclusive washing and soaking also leaches out the nutrients. Soaking is a good technique for cereals and pulses, as it quickens the process of cooking. To avoid soaking loss of nutrients, it's better to wash foods quickly and soak the washed foods. When addition of soda for pulses sometimes enhances the cooking ability and improves color, but it leaches out most of the nutrients, especially thiamine. Hence, the technique is not applicable for healthy cooking. If soda is required, then please put the pulses in soda added water for 20 to 30 minutes, soak it, then you can wash out by rubbing through your hands. The best method of retaining vitamins in addition of acids like lemon, tamarind, curd and vinegar. The most sensitive vitamins during cooking is vitamin C because of its oxidative nature. The ways to conserve this nutrient is by eating the vitamin-rich foods as whole, cooking with cover for a short period of time, or by adding lemon after cooking just before serving. Another important methodology of best conservation of cooking is germination. It is a simple processing technique by which the cereals and millets are soaked and sprouted under warm room temperature up to 4 days. The germinated spots on seeds enhances more nutrition on foods. This simple technology could be adopted by food service organization. Some important health benefits of germinations are: during sprouting, the dormant enzymes that are present inside the sprouts gets activated and digestibility also improved. And the availability of nutrients also improved. Starch and proteins are converted to simple substances as germination process. It increases the ratio of essential and non-essential amino acids and provide more essential amino acids. Sprouting also reduces the trypsin inhibiting factors due to the release of enzyme. Germination increases the maltose content. Sprouting increases the availability of protein, some amount of minerals like calcium, zinc and iron. Vitamins like riboflavin, niacin, folic acid, choline and biotin are also increased. Vitamin C content is enhanced abnormally around 70 to 20 milligrams per 100 grams of pulses. When you germinate for 30 hours, the level will be at the maximum. Some antioxidants like anthocyanins are also increased by germination. Now, fermentation. How fermentation improves the nutritional quality? Doughs and batters and milk products are generally fermented. Fermentation is a biological process by which the microorganisms are inoculated in the media intentionally and grown up. While the process of fermentation, several biochemical health-favoring enzymes are produced. B-complex vitamins are formed. Incorporating fermented foods into the menu in a food service establishment helps the patrons to enjoy healthy cuisines. What are the benefits of fermentation? Through fermentation, foods are preserved through the work of healthy bacteria. In a process that seems almost magical, but it's easily explained through science. With the roots going back far into history, not only does fermentation preserve food, but it also transforms food into probiotic supplement and it increases the digestibility, vitamin content also. It is no wonder that we find fermented foods all over the world in traditional culture. Fermented foods is an excellent source of probiotic. While most of our ancestors' diet would have been brimming with alive probiotic bacteria, ours are often devoid. With more and more research showing the importance of healthy gut, the importance of eating food that will aid our gut is becoming more prominent. I personally recommend that lacto-fermented foods are high on the list for gut-healthy foods. Studies showing healthy benefits of probiotics. In fact, there are new studies linking the health benefits of probiotics with a wide variety of health benefits. For example, bifidobacteria that is present in fermented foods are very good for the neonatal health. Many strains of probiotic bacteria have been directly linked to reduce the loss of digestibility complaints. Lactobacillus plantarum is a specific bacteria that has been playing a very major role in reducing the inflammatory bowel disorder, small bowel bacterial overgrowth in children. Lactobacillus acidophilus in animal studies have shown it prevents the polyps and adenomas and colon cancer also. Fermented foods have increased the nutritional value of the food also. One of the reasons fermented foods are so great is because fermentation process increases certain nutrients. For example, sauerkraut has an increased vitamin C content. Other traditional fermented food products shows a big jump in vitamin C content. Fermented foods are also digestible in nature. Fermented foods were more digestible because the probiotic content. But this is only the part of benefit. The fermentation process actually makes the food more digestible to us by breaking down hard to digest cellulose in food. This plays an important role in impoverished countries where young infants are fed fermented cereal gruels as a first food in their life. Fermented foods are safer than raw vegetables to eat. The reason is, while eating raw vegetables, you will get E. coli. But fermented foods does not contain E. coli, thereby you will be prevented from diarrhea. So with this, I will finish the benefits of fermentation. Supplementation is another healthy cooking technique by which the food products get more nutritional benefits. What is supplementation? Supplementation is a simple food preparation technique by which the food products are deficient in one or more nutrients are mutually combined during cooking to boost up more values. Example, cereals and pulses are combined in the best way by which the supplementation of protein happens, as each one is losing one essential amino acid. It enhances the protein value and also it enhances the taste and flavor. Also, it adds a novel variety to the diet. Sometimes interesting combinations of Indian foods can make lot of varieties in supplementation also, like pongal, adai, avial, all are very interesting combinations of supplementations of proteins. Fortification and enrichment is another important technology by which you can enhance best nutritional cooking. It is done at the industrial level for the processed foods like milk products, cereals and pulse products, grains, oils and fats too. Catering establishments have to make their own choices according to the quality requirement of their customers. It is possible to make the food waste. Is it possible to make the food waste recycling? Yes, you can. Then how to use food waste intelligently? While preparation and processing, food loses so many valuable nutrients along with the vital elements that are present in it while leaching the food items. Certain techniques and methods are available. You can incorporate all those things during cooking in order to reduce the leaching effect. Now I'm going to tell you the simple techniques of conserving nutrients or reusing the nutrients that are present inside certain food items while cooking. Cottage cheese is a food product, milk product, that is being prepared by coagulation of milk by adding lemon juice. When we prepare cottage cheese, we generally discard whey. The whey is a very good source of all kind of lacto amino acids and lactose sugar. So that is very important for the growth and development of the brain of the human body. So this lactose in the form of whey can be reused in the preparations of pulses, in the preparations of making soups and gravies. And green peas, green vegetables. When we make vegetables, when we prepare vegetables for cooking, peeling will be done. Most of the time, peeling reduces or removes the external layer of the vegetables. Along with the external layer, we sometimes remove most of the edible portion of the vegetables also. Sometimes, some Indian traditional vegetables like rich gourd, bottle gourd and all can be reused by the preparation of side dishes like chutneys, sauces, etc. Sandwiches. When we prepare sandwich, we always trim the edges of bread slices. The trimmed portion of bread slices will be thrown away. But it is to reuse the bread strips for the preparation of cutlets, and you can add the bread strips as breadcrumbs for making several dishes, buhat, etc. Boiled rice. While boiling rice, we always discard the water that is boiled after cooking of rice. This boiled drained water of rice contains all the vitamin B which are present inside the rice that can be added along with soups, or that can be added along with gravies. When we prepare gravies and soups, these are all very good, and also while making pulavs, this water can be added. To conclude, cooking is an age-old technology adopted for both positive and negative causes. By understanding the importance of cooking, you can adopt a better possible way of executing healthy practices. Of course, food service establishment must have to understand all these principles of effective conservation of nutrients to encourage healthy cooking and healthy feeding for their patrons. Thank you all. See you all in the next session.